Hey everyone, welcome to Wubby Gaming where we help gamers grow. So today's video is mostly for Placid Fury, but I might open this up to other people as well. Today's video is all about race prep. So we've had this ongoing maybe for about 6 months-ish, I reckon. And the last, I think, month and a half, we took it off because we thought, hey, everyone's pretty experienced in racing already and we don't really need it anymore because it's sort of like a means to an end. So I think we've been going a little bit slower in our race the last couple of races. It's been taking about 4.5 days, 5 days even. And I think a little bit of it, or a lot of it, I don't know, has to do with our race prep. Because we're not focusing on the race prep these days, then I think it's sort of slipping in the background a little bit. So I'm going to bring back race prep in some sort of form. So open to your feedback and how you want to do this, but what I've come up with so far is if you're an experienced racer and you have sort of like that race all-star or that race star, I'm saying, hey, update this every 4 weeks. So basically once every single race. If you're someone that's either a lead, a co-lead, or a squad leader, I want you guys to lead by example, including myself. And so we're going to do that every 2 weeks. And if you're sort of newish, say you've done one race, you're also going to be doing this every 2 weeks. And if you're brand new, then I want you to be doing this once a week so we can make sure that you're on track for the race that's coming up, because we do 85 laps pretty much every race. I think every race since a long time. I think Siberia, the one before Siberia. So Siberia was like 105 or so. The one before Siberia, we did 85 as well. So ever since then, we've been doing 85 laps. So what I want us to be doing is to be on top of our race prep, and if we get really, really good again and our races are becoming, 3.5, 4 days every single race, then we might be able to take this away again. But for the time being, it is a means to an end, and I do want everyone to be updating this race prep. The more experienced you are, the less often you have to update it. The newer you are, or if your race performance hasn't been so good, I want you to be updating this more frequently, please. So here's how it works. FYI, we used to make sure that every single new recruit has updated this before they even join. And we do that for a number of reasons. And one is team fit, and overriding it, it's actually team fit. So for example, if you can go through the process and update Google Sheets, you're pretty dedicated, and I'm pretty confident that you're going to be a good fit for our team. And if we've declined some really good people just based on team fit because they said, spreadsheet, no, I'm not going to do it. So it's like, okay, cool. You're not going to be a good team fit, so we're going to pass on you. So it is actually really important, and I think everyone in the team is willing to do it. So I don't think we're going to have any problems. But if you're looking at this and you're thinking, hey, why do I have to do this? It is team fit, and it is also just to make sure that we're prepped well. So there's going to be 3 sheets. The first one is overall prep. So this sort of goes through at a high level what gems and legends pass you're willing to have if you're going to be buying frats and stuff. That just helps us sort of have a balance between our free-to-play and our players that do invest a bit more in the game. So for example, you can see my one here. I do make sure I have 1,200 gems every single race, 1,000 just for the race itself, and then 200 just in case I need some runes or just some additional buffer. So we do ask for that everyone in the team spend at least 500 gems just in skips. So that's not the race, like for example, speeding up a Thunder Eagle for 1 gem. That doesn't count. What we're talking about here is 500 gems in skips alone. So that's something like, hey, here's an OFA, it's going to cost 260 gems. Do 2 of those and you're up to 520 gems, and you've done your part in terms of the gem skips. So that really helps us have a really sustainable team and to make sure that everyone gets the opportunity to contribute gems wise. So after that, so I'm going to do this as we go along. So you can see that the last time I updated this is August 20. So I'm going to change that to today's date. What is today's date? I think it's like September 23. So everyone's goal here is to make your name go gold. So as soon as I update that to today's date, which is the 23rd of September, then my name's going to go gold, and I just have to make sure there you go. So it's gone gold because I've done my race prep and I last updated it. So make sure you update that, because that's how we keep track of the last time you updated and if you're on track. So I'm going to go through and tick these off. So the first bunch is like just high level stuff. So gold per hour do I have at least 20 million gold per hour? So we do this using the this, what's it called? The farm as a timer. So for example here, what I'll do if I want to time myself is I'll take a screenshot now, and then half an hour later I'll take another screenshot, and I'll see how much my gold goes up by. If you're in the billions, you can't really calculate it this way. Use gold fever instead. But if you're under 1 billion, then it's really easy to calculate this way. So let's pretend it's 13 million after half an hour. So that means my gold per hour is 26 million gold per hour. So that's roughly where I'm at right now. So I'm just going to keep that in mind, and I'll use that figure later on. So these things here are all just stuff that you should have. 2 breeding trees, 4 hatchery slots. So you can see here, maybe you can't see because it's almost gold fever time. But if you could see here that I've got 1 breeding tree here, which I just bred a, what's it called? The uncommon guy, pterodactyl. So I'm low on pterodactyls at the moment, so that's what I'm breeding. And I've got another breeding tree here, which is breeding the legendary, the mythic breeding event. So it looks like my breeding garden has just come down as well. And you can see here, if I can click on it, so I've got 4 slots, and I've also got Legends Pass, so I've actually got 5. So that's what that's about. So do I have 4 hatchery slots? Yes. Do I have at least 1 huge farm? The huge farms are used to get lots of food. So for those food tasks, so I have 10 of them. So I have all of them, and they're all huge farms. So I can go off and tick that as well. Gold, how much gold do I have now? I've got 2 billion. So do I have at least 250? Yes. So when it says minimum and best, so minimum is what you need to do to actually have the tick. Best is what's recommended if you want to go for gold, do the best. But at a bare minimum, you do need to have these things to be able to tick it off. And your goal here is not only to make sure that you go gold in terms of your name, because that says you've updated recently, but to also get this race prep score as high as possible. I think our Placid Fury record is like, I want to say low to mid 90s. So I think a few people have hit that. So currently in the team, Mac and DeMarie are probably our best race preppers. So they've both hit at least low 90s. So I'm 77. I'm a little bit behind what they are, but anything sort of 60 and above is pretty good. So that's what you want to aim for at a minimum. At a minimum, go for 50, and that's sort of like, you're in the finals of a 100-meter race where there's 8 people. If you're above 50, you're sort of like in the finals. If you're above 60, that's sort of like a bronze. If you're 70, then that's sort of like a silver. And if you're 80 and a plus, you're sort of like gold medal kind of status, yeah? So gold, food. So make sure you have at least 50 million food. What do I have? I've got 543 million. So I'm good there. I can keep that ticked. Runes. So you'll see runes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 5, 6, and 7 are the hardest ones to keep stocked up. So that's why they're in dark purple. You see down here, the dark purple ones are the most important. So they're critical. The sort of purplish, they're important. And the yellow ones, which is only Dragonian Beasts, really, they're like bonus. If you can get Dragonian Beasts, it's really, really helpful because you don't have to use epics. Because epics, they cost more gems. But Dragonian Beasts are pretty hard to breed. So if you can do that, it's a really, really nice bonus. So we're going to go here, and Barath, when you do this video, hit me up and let me know how long it takes me to do my runes. So I think it probably takes about a minute, but hit me up, yeah? So we're going to go to the detail tab later on, but this is probably roughly accurate. And legendaries is how many legendaries you have that's ready to rank. So what you need there is you need the monster plus the cells. And the same with epics. Dragonian Beast is just how many cells you have. If you have at least 100, then that means you can craft it. You can craft it, and you can also do a rank. So I'm going to change it right now to 120, because you need at least 120 to rank a Dragonian Beast, I think. I hope. Fundinics are really good. They cost 1 gem. So whenever there's a rank winged task, these are 1 gem. So Fundinics is really good because when you breed Fundinics, the only outcome possible is Fundinics and Gigrams. I'm going to go with Gigram. And Gigrams are good because you can also use those for hatch funder tasks. So Gygrams and Fundinix are both actually the cheapest and most efficient gem use for those particular tasks. So I like to, if I'm a new racer, I always recommend my new racers to do Fundinix and Gygrams first because that's really good bang for buck. Rare Earths, so Friedels and Tarzapes, just combine them together. So 5,000 will sort of get you through sort of like 2 1-for-alls. And if you're planning to do lots of those 1-for-alls, then get as many as possible. Like you can get upwards of like 20,000 and you will still probably run out. Last race, I think I had about 10,000 and I ran out. And that was with continuously breeding Friedels and Tarzapes like all day long. Pandicans, you don't need too many of these. So like 1,500 is plenty because they're really quick to breed during the race if you actually need them. Fund pterodactyls, I'm really short on these at the moment, so I think I'm down to like 1,000. I would recommend focusing on this. If you've got plenty of Fundinix, then pterodactyls are always really useful. Gygrams we talked about with Fundinix, and Grenosaurs. So Grenosaurs are for the rank uncommon tasks. So 1,500 here is plenty because they are pretty fast to do mid-race if you do need to do them with Pandicans at the same time. So they're all the things that we prep for 85 laps. So I'm going to go through and go to the second tab because this is like the high level one and it actually takes longer to do the detailed one because that's where we actually ask for actual numbers. So what's going to happen here is when you change this date, I'm going to change it to today's date, which is the September 23rd. And I don't think I've updated this formula yet, so I'll update it later. But basically that means September 23rd is the last date. And you can see this is 81.8%. And over here, it was 77%. So this one is actually more accurate because it actually looks at the numbers you actually have as opposed to tick cross, tick cross. So I'm going to go through Barath and time. I'm going to do this really quickly on the fly. And Barath, do me a favor and time how long this takes in the video. Because sometimes people look at this and say, Wubby, isn't that going to take a long time? And the answer is no. Once you've done it once, it's actually pretty simple and pretty easy to do. So the main difference between this tab and the other tab was ticks and crosses. So we'll go here. See how it's just ticks and crosses? So not ticks and crosses. It's either ticked or unticked, checked or unchecked. So if you satisfy the minimum, then go ahead and check it. And this is what I use. So this is what you use to update. So you'll see if it's dark green, you're doing really well. You are actually past the best. If you're sort of light green, then you're pretty close to the minimum. And if you're anything that's yellow, that means you're not doing so great. You need to focus there. And if you're red, that means like, you're nowhere near. Let's change that to 120 as well. So let's now do this on the fly. So on my clock, it's 1:29. I reckon it's going to take, I'm going to say 3 to 5 minutes. So let's go. Where are we? So first thing is gold per hour. Like I said, it's about 26 million. I'm going to do this during later. I'm going to stop talking because that's going to slow me down. 2, yes. 5, 14, gold, 2 billion, which is 2,000, I think. So that's an estimate, fine. 543 for that. Runes, so estimates are fine for runes. Mutate. So I've got 3,000, 4,000, about 4,400. 4,400. Twos. I've got 800, 2,000, about 2,400 as well. Threes. I've got about 400, another 300 is 700, 800, 900. Fours. 30, 80, 100, about 125. Fives. Let's see, about 20, 60, 80, 90, about 100. 6, so you can see my fives have gone down since last time. 6, wow, I suck at 6s. I've got 2. So I've used a lot of those last race. 7s, wow, 11. So 7s are used for gambling. So 5, 6, and 7s I need to work on. Hey, I did something wrong. So this was 100. I'm gonna copy that down. And I think I stuffed up on 4s. 4s was about 100. So that's 5s I stuffed up. It's about 100 as well. So 5s and 4s are both 100. Yep, so that's fine. Next, legendaries to rank. So we're going to jump out of here and go to Monster Lab. It's been about 2 minutes so far. And go to Legends. So I'm going to finish ranking for Lassa before race, so I'm not going to count that. This is about 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Here's another 3, 20. This will be 3 as well. 26, can't count that. 27, 28, 30, can't count that. 32, 34, 36, actually minus 1, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 4, 5, 6, 7, 57. Epics, same process. I'm really low on epics. So I think that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I sold a lot of my epics last race. We'll count that, 15. So we've got 15, we're really low on epics. Dragonian Beast. So what's that? That's an Earth. $11. Something to work on. Better than 0. So it's been 5 minutes already. I underestimated. Where's Fundinix? I gotta turn off Earth. Oops. Back to Vault. What do I want? Fundinix. 7840. Friedels and Tarzates. Let's count that as 7 and 2.5. 9.5. Pandicans. 16,000. And now to uncommons. Pterodactyls, 1200, need to work on those. Diagrams, plenty of those. Greenosaurs, need to work on those. Okay, and we're done. So basically, I am green on everything except for 6 and 7 runes and Dragonian Beast. So I can tick 4, 5, can't tick 6 and 7, and can't tick Dragonian Beast. So there we go. So I'm up to 86% on overall prep and 80% here, which is a more accurate version. So looking at this, what I want to work on is I want to work on my 6 runes, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. I want to work on my 7 runes, but I don't know how I'm going to do that either. I do want to work on Dragonian Beast, and I do want to work on Pterodactyls. So the third sheet here is do your own prep, DIY prep. So basically here, go and put your name down for the ones that you want to work on. So that's me, Wubby, and what was that? That was 6s. So I started on 2. So just put what you start on and everything else will be automated. I also want to do Dragonian Beast. Is that one here? Yes. So I'm going to put my name down there as well. I had 11. I do want to do these. What are I selected? And that was about 1100. And I do want to do free. Do I want to do free those? Yeah, I'll do free those. That was like 10,000 or something. 9,500. So go in here and select like maybe the 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, the ones that you really want to focus on, and then just focus on it. So what will happen here is once you go in here, and so that's the only thing you have to update. So let's pretend that I got a bunch of 6 runes, and I don't know how I'm going to do that still, but let's pretend I got some 6 runes, and it's been 2 weeks. So I go in here and I update it to 10. And then you'll see here that, my formula is broken. But what will happen normally once I fix this is it will say this will become 10. Okay, I'll fix it later. So this will say 10. No. This will become 10. And then this will say 8. Because that basically says, hey, right now it's 10. I started on 2. And so far I've got an 8 extra 6 runes. So that's what will happen. I'll just fix that up. And it's really 2. So what I want you guys to do is to go in here and update your detailed prep and update your overall prep. And then based on where your prep is at, go in and select at least 1 thing per person, please. So I recommend 2 or 3 because that's sort of like, you know, a good number of things to focus on without spreading yourself too thin. I've selected 4 because some of these are pretty hard to do, like Dragonian Beast. That's just going to be happening in the background. So once you do that, then it becomes a lot easier to know how we're doing as a team in terms of race prep, and if we've got, you know, good coverage across certain areas. So for example, you don't want everyone being short on runes. We need some people that are really strong in runes. You don't want everyone that's like, you know, really low on epic ranks, because then we're going to have to gem all of those. So we want a good spread across all of these things, and that's how we race prep, and that's how we sort of know how everyone's going. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, or you have some comments or feedback about the race prep or how we can do this differently in a better way, please put a comment below or post on the Placid Fury Discord. And if you enjoyed it, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. So it looks like it's about, what, maybe 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes to do that from start to finish. So see you soon.